Greetings, I am Live.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Alright, so we're back to breaking the leg.
Except for we were gonna sue. We were gonna, as children, accrue our own lawyer services and then employ them against each other with no adults involved. Don't you remember my dad was gonna be a child lawyer that was actually a child, but then he aged out, and it was really bad. Like, because that was his dream.
Again, like that Hallmark movie. I think I remember that.
Yeah, that was my dad, and just
I know.
But yeah, I wasn't gonna.
Your parents sat down and made me watch it like every year.
Right. Well, because we used to hang out a lot more.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Every year.
Before we were dating, and then when we dated, it really went badly.
Aye.
Anyway.
Oh, well, sue me for breaking your leg. Because that's totally a thing that happened.
And children can do that to each other.
Yep, very easily.
Me? Sue you? Get out of here. I'm not a lawyer.
Oh.
I myself couldn't sue you.
The language usage here is so wild. Again,
they're trying to make him casual, though. Like, they just started in the last, 2 little episodes.
I
said that
know!
one thing about feeling something that was sort of, trendy casual.
Yeah.
And now we've got sue you, get out of here. They're trying to humanize him suddenly, like someone noticed he sounded stiff.
Honestly, it sounds a little bit like, hello, my fellow kids, It sounds like that meme.
Let's add the friend language now.
Hi, bro!
You know those trendy kids, they like all the cool language in their games.
And the TikToks. I know the tick and talks.
Yep, just
a tic-tac.
Twitter it all around. That's what you're gonna do. Just go ahead and Twitter it right off.
You can do the Facebooks, right?
I put my face in a book too. Okay.
It was very smelly.
So I'm never gonna stop. So I had never played a Pokemon game ever until my friend here had me play Let's Go Eevee, and this is totally unrelated. And you're gonna have to hang with me for a second if you want to hear the rest of the actual story that we're playing.
Yeah, you always gotta hang.
Okay.
We got stories.
So the thing is I get that games have their own conventions, but I'm unfamiliar with Pokemon, so I don't know how it works. So I'm going around checking things out in the very first town after I realize, I have a mom, and we share one bedroom in a tiny house with no kitchen, and it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
And then when I read signs, I can't stand here and read them. I have to flatten my face physically against the sign to be able to read it.
Well, you see, we learned how to do braille, but it's braille with the face.
It's facial braille. It's very good. It's very adaptive. Most everyone has a face,
Honest to God, I can see. Oh, that would be so bad. I can see it.
So that was the thing that I was like, I'll read that thing. I can't read it. I can't read it. I can't read it. And then I shove my character's face literally clipping into it. And then suddenly there's words on the screen.
I can read it.
And I'm going, Scandal, why do I have to have my face pancaked against a sign to be able to read it?
Because absorption is important in Pokemon. And it's actually a move that you can learn with Bulbasaur.
And once you have Bulbasaur, you can read signs. Yay! Just throw some water up on that sign and you got it. Anyway, welcome aboard. You get out of here. I just want to apologize. From the bottom of my wheelchair that I walked over here carrying and then sat down next to you and then sat down in it again. Because that's what we did when we walked around in front of you. What happened was Mr. got so confused and had such a motor processing error when trying to figure out how to approach you, Ken, that none of the options worked. And what happened was he just stood up on his busted ass leg, picked up his wheelchair while hobbling and staggering his way over there like the worst possible zombie horror creature, and then puts the wheelchair down in front of you, and then flops into it. Hi, Ken!
And Ken goes, you really are a himbo.
What?
Yep, here we are.
I'm so more. That was really sexy, okay?
You
really
know,
sexy.
Okay, so I have to say, I feel really bad, and I've been thinking about this actually for a while. So when I was out watering the garden, this was actually one of the big things on my mind. This is, I think, the first time we have strongly disagreed with the character in regards to them going, I've explained to you that this person specifically went out of their way to break my leg. And that seems to be the thing. We have nothing to basically counter this. We have nothing else to talk about. But to me, I was like, this is the first time we've ever really just been like, clearly, this character has got to be, like, off their rocker, or we need more information. Right? I cannot, like, just go, yep, just broke your damn leg.
And
this child in high school who weighs less than...
During sport, without any, like, obvious intention, just in a dog pile, broke your leg on purpose. It's great.
And I'm not saying that Ken couldn't, secretly be a horrible fucking person.
Ken's secretly a mercenary. I told you, his whole story is that he goes from school to school, getting hired to take out hits on pro athletes to handicap other people's teams. And that's his whole life, underground, so, just sieging the world. He never thought he would get, set against his own boyfriend, but he couldn't turn down the contract. It's a great personal conflict.
Right.
If you haven't seen previous episodes, you do not know what that means.
Except that we established that would be, a woman, basically.
That would be someone else.
Yes, that was something else. But I honestly, was really surprised, or both of us just going, you're full of shit. That was, but also at the same time, too, I think what contributed to that is going, this character is unreliable. There are so many things that are hidden from us. Both of us seem to be waiting for something else to show up, because it seems only natural. Yeah. Somebody here is lying.
Because, there's such a void of information here. It's weird. The game is almost completely hollow. If I thought about building this game as an edifice, it'd be like this hollow tin structure.
The Trojan horse.
Worse than that, because the Trojan horse was at least sturdy. This would be like tin foil in the shape of a dollhouse, where if you breathe on it, it sort of shifts and falls over and changes shape.
Oh, all right, fair.
All right, anyway, I just want to apologize from the actual bottom of my heart.
So I'll pick the left ventricle and not the right one.
I think I hurt my leg when I walked over here carrying my wheelchair.
Oh.
I kind of feel like I'm about to pass out. You didn't break my leg on purpose. I'm going to tell you this right before I black out. It was all an accident. And the only reason I know that is because Miki told me. So it has to be true.
Right.
We were having an intense game that was practice. And injuries happen from time to time. Ow. Is it getting dark in here? So, forgive me?
You bet.
It blacks out, just bonk, gone.
Oh shit. Nurse!
Nurse!
Oh god.
He reaches over and shakes my hand to try and wake me up.
Mister, wake up.
Nurse!
Nurse! Oh my god!
Whew, it's a good feeling to have somebody forgive you, I say in my dreams as I'm passed out.
Again, it could be interesting where obviously you're trying to write for a deliberate character, but that illusion of choice really does still bother me, of going,
Is everyone reacting to you as if you'd been, would you end up on the same path with the same romance if you lied the whole way through as well? And would they just be like, you don't need to lie, it's fine.
That's great.
So we're so happy to be forgiven. Wakes up suddenly. And also, Ken freezes, holding your hand. Once I'm out of this place, and out of this weird blackout episode, how about we hang out and get to know each other more? Because Miki suggested that if we tried to be good friends instead of just acquaintances, that we might be better at
What?
dating.
No. Actually, that's really confusing, because how I interpreted what Miki said was going, you should move on from this experience and do something else. You can get closure, but go find other friends.
No, because clearly you've met really good people. You should add another really good people, because clearly you're now friends with everyone in the hospital.
Oh my god.
That's how I interpreted it.
I didn't at all.
Oh, I got it from, you've already met some really wonderful people. And since they're wonderful, it means they will stay in your life forever. Why not add one more to that list? Which means he will stay in your life forever. Because why would you remove wonderful people from your life, mister?
You don't know that they could also just be busy and do other things. You literally live in other areas and have different interests. And
But they're wonderful. Some of the best people you'll ever meet in your whole life.
How do you know
With
that?
no ability to look forward to anything better than this, why would you let them go?
What are your standards? I need to know.
Miki's, whatever hers are.
I need to know that. What are those standards? I'm sorry, I need to know.
Yep.
It's important. So whenever anybody like imposes some sort of ideology upon you, there's usually some thought of going like, hey, what are your standards? What are you starting from? What is the unspoken, basically, assumption here of going like, well, we all know. What?
Miki expects return customers.
Oh, God. I assume that you're going to be back.
All right. So get to know each other more, because, you know, if we're friends, we might actually be able to date again.
Bro.
Bro.
That sounds like me, unironically, bro.
Bro.
Bro, that would be awesome.
Hi. Really?
Yeah.
You'd actually like to, like, hang out as friends and sort of just get to know each other?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh.
Is that gonna work?
Well,
Cause, like, I don't know how to make friends.
I'm crawling in my skin. I cannot make some friends.
What's going on here is they've added the cool language for the kids. That's why Ken just said bro.
All right. Although, you sure you want to get out of here?
We're going to talk about the hot nurses now.
We are
Ken's going to talk
oh
about
my
the hot
God.
nurses and be like, but don't you want to stay here with the hot nurses? Blah, 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 blah. I faked Andrews to get into here, except for not our Ken. Our Ken didn't.
Ken did not. Ken, what? Why would I ever do that? We dated. Shut up.
I
wore the nurse outfit. Thank you.
for Mister, and if we need a sexy nurse in our relationship, we'll be one, all right?
We're good at that.
Either
It
of
takes
us.
2 heads to make a nurse, unfortunately, in our situation, because we don't have that much knowledge. We get really intense in those role plays. Maybe that's just me.
Between the two of us, we figure out kind of what nursing should look like.
Kind of. That's why this whole story is a mess.
Because
This is actually an elaborate role play between Mr. and myself.
And we're just trying to, like, have more fun together, you know, because you should experiment and branch out, and kids are very creative. Well, people are very creative, but we're kids, so kids are very creative because we're talking about us.
Ah, the creativity is great. You make
okay.
wonderful leaps. Although, you sure you want to get out of here?
I mean, right now, given that my leg is sending spasms up my body, and I still feel a little blurry, probably not. I think if I tried to leave here, it'd probably be a bad thing.
Do you want some water? Are you feeling nauseous?
No. Just like, it's hard to focus on everything. I think it's the pain.
I should do something about that.
Yeah,
Like, completely. We should really do something about that. It'd be really important.
Did you actually call the nurse when you called the nurse?
Of course I did. Oh my God.
Here it is.
It's like being at a maid cafe.
Yep, it is. It's a nurse cafe
It's
where
a
they
nurse
actually
cafe.
do medical care.
Uh-huh, and again, oh no, this has nothing to do with our sex workers, you know, at all, being cute and kind and cuddly and we can't get anything out of it. No, not at all.
These aren't sex workers. They're just here to be attractive, not sexy.
What? Honestly, the thing that I also think is really unfortunate is the idea where people go, cute isn't sexy, and I'm like...
Depends on who you are and what you like.
There has been plenty of situations where people are like, oh my God, you're so cute.
Uh-huh.
I'm just...
On the other hand, some people like cute is killer, meaning once you've been called cute, you are excluded from all things sexy.
Yes.
So, difference of opinion. And the thing is going, you can have someone that's aesthetically attractive and you don't find them to be sexy at all. You can be like, wow, damned attractive, not sexy.
You're gonna be like, dude, high aesthetics. Woo!
Wow, well done, props.
Wow.
Good job.
Wow.
I say.
I mean, look at the nurses walking around. They're all so kind and beautiful.
How can you tell if they're kind by the way they walk? Are they a walk-in person? You can tell by the way they walk, they're really kind.
No, actually, I'm just making assumptions based on character. It's actually a characteristic that a lot of people actually do, even in regards to, like, you know, like if you're gonna actually get a job, or if you're ever gonna get, you know, like if you ever commit a crime, you better make sure you're really attractive, because actually you're more inclined to get a lighter sentence, at least here in the United States, because
true.
if you're attractive, people will tend to think better of you. And it actually was, so weirdly enough, was a sociological experiment that my class actually talked about when I was in sociology, where they discussed, there was an experiment, I think like a news station did, that I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was interesting, where they were like, we literally had basically these oh god, I can't remember the name of what they're called. We had a jury We had two different juries, and we used it where we were like, okay, so they have no idea what's going on, and we had one really attractive, basically, person who'd committed the crime, and I can't remember the name of it right now because my brain's not functioning.
It's okay.
And then they had one person who was more average, more what you would consider socially not as attractive, right? And they went through these trials with these individuals, and both of the defendants never said a damn thing.
Like there was,
at all. No communication, no conversation.
Right.
They never defended themselves. They never said anything. They never reacted. They just
So what
pretty
you
much stood
had-
there, and that was all they did.
I was gonna say is you had a full trial happen, mock trial, with a jury, and the jury got an impression based on what everyone else said, and the only experience they got from these people was them sitting, basically blank face in a chair the whole time.
And I think they were actually styled pretty much similarly. They just were different levels of
So they
attractiveness.
were both dressed nicely, that kind of thing. They both sat well. One of them wasn't made to look slovenly. They just chose a much less attractive person by your standard social standards.
Yes.
Okay? And then what happened was people would describe, the attractive one as being trustworthy and just reliable.
Seemed really friendly.
And really friendly, and just like he wouldn't do that kind of thing, and just, like certainly he was willing to reform, and must have been an accident or a misunderstanding. And then the other one, they're just like, oh my God, he seems like a terrible,
Was really
untrustworthy.
rude.
He was super he's probably, he's just really rude and just dismissive, and he just isn't attentive. Like, positive adjectives for the attractive one, negative adjectives for the less attractive one. And
One of them got a
did-
guilty sentence,
say-
and guess which one did?
and neither of them said
anything.
or did really anything.
Yeah.
All right, so you can see that they're kind because they're beautiful, okay?
Yes, which is a thing, shockingly, that they do in anime a lot. If they're really pretty and really attractive, you know inherently that they're a good person. It's actually a thing that socially we're taught a lot, and actually it's a discussion that Liza and myself have had in reference to where there's been an interesting, and I say interesting, even though to me it's a little unnerving, but it's an interesting phenomenon where people have been basically obsessed with serial killers.
We've
talked about this before, but it's still interesting.
Not all serial killers, the
No.
attractive ones.
Oh, of course.
So people there are trends of being obsessed with people who have done bad things, notably serial killers, because they are physically attractive.
Right.
And the statistics support that it's because they're physically attractive, and sometimes because they have really good social skills to back that up and bolster their attractiveness.
Yes, absolutely.
Well,
Oh.
I'll be lying if I say I won't miss them. The only two that work here in this whole hospital.
Yeah.
Except for, the one that stays here that doesn't work here, Rena, I don't know how she got her nurse's certificate so early. God, she is like a child prodigy that was nearly dying of something that she's now doing great from, because her spirit is amazing and the drugs are doing wonders to her body. But I didn't tell you any of that because that's information I should not disclose. But she is the youngest nurse I've ever conceived of in this game that's for dating nurses.
Right. Okay. That's interesting.
What did I say? I'm kind of drugged and in pain.
I'm a little confused now.
We both laugh.
Him
Him in confusion, me in amusement.
Genuine, drugged out, hazy amusement.
Everything is funny.
Yay!
At least the one problem of my entire life has finally been solved.
What?
That problem where I was a jerk and I didn't make amends for it. That was the problem, as far as we can tell. Because the problem was me being able to talk to him after I invited him here. Was that the problem?
Again, I'm still confused because I would have imagined, we talked about it before, where we were going, you would imagine really that you had other adults that would show up and go, hey, how are you doing? So this was a scenario that happened, and they would talk to you about what happened, not you just going, you broke my leg on purpose!
Well,
Porpoise!
you see, every visitor we've had has been a child with no accompanying adult and very little information, because kids never have facts according to these games.
Oh, God. Kids are so much more intelligent than people give them credit for. They just don't necessarily have a lot of... So what you have is basically your intelligence stat versus your wisdom stat. You have high intelligence, which are really, honestly, a lot of people are incredibly intelligent, and they can learn very quickly and very rapidly. But wisdom is basically that thing of going, I can put this all together, and I've had more experience.
It's also a level of social context.
Yes.
Where your kid's going to come in, for the most part, and have completely different priorities for describing the situation than someone that's been taught what is important in these kind of situations.
And you'll see it in jobs all the time. You'll watch somebody who's basically been there much longer. They know how to talk to the person, usually, that they're trying to talk to, like a boss or a manager
And
or
how to
whatever
break
else.
it down and say, the necessary details to get the situation
And a new
resolved.
person is just like, here, what I will think is the important thing. And sometimes they say some really interesting things because they point out interesting or bizarre flaws, basically, in the system.
And other times, they just say a lot of weird, superfluous information about themselves, about the other employees, about unrelated stuff, because they're just trying to tell you, well, you need the whole picture? Let me start with when I came in the parking lot 8 hours ago.
And you're like,
whoa, no, the whole picture of what happened to this machine just now.
Yeah,
So when I got at work, when I arrived 8 hours ago.
Okay, honey,
all right.
it's okay.
Now that the one problem is solved, I can now focus on my recovery process. Because while that problem was not solved for the couple of days that had just passed, but while they were passing, I was not focusing on recovery process. I was focusing on working up to making a phone call that I made yesterday to have a conversation today. But we're going to have to find out about my recovery process in the next one.
But mister,
Yeah?
passing is not required for you to be valid.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
But I'm trying so hard.
That's okay, but it's not required.
Is recovery required for me to be valid? Or is sport required for me to be valid? Because it's the only thing I know how to do.
It's okay. We can work on those things.
Well, we're getting to know each other, right?
And we can also get you a therapist. It's fine.
I think I've heard of what that is.
That's okay.
All right, so in the next one. That was very cute. My friend is very charming. It's adorable.
It's okay. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you very much, guys, then, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And please also feel free to share our videos if you're having a good time with us. Also, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or Patreon. We've got some links in the description down below. So, other than that, I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies. And it was great playing with you. Bye!